Hi guys and gals and kittens, and welcome to the I Need a Magic show. So in this video I'm going to show you something cool, which is the ability to take a URL and actually scrape that URL and transform the content into a DALL-E image prompt that generates an image basically summarizing the content on that page, whatever that page is. So first I'm going to have to go to manage. I'm inside of my cloudlet here. I'm going to go to plugins and I'm going to install the OpenAI module. Now, this module creates a bunch of additional actions for me that I can use in my workflows. So I'm now going to create a module. I'm going to, actually, let me delete this guy. I'm going to call my module foo. Sorry, that was from a previous go at this YouTube video. Then I'm going to create a file called create article url.get.hl. So I now have a Hyperlambda HTTP endpoint. I'm going to describe what it does. Generates an image from the specified URL. So it's going to take one argument, being the URL, right? And then we are done with the description. Then I can go up here in the top left corner and filter on OpenAI. And then I'm going to use context from URL. What this basically does, it scrapes this URL for 4,000 tokens. Right. So now I've scraped the URL. Then I am going to invoke OpenAI query, which takes as my context the context from the scraping URL invocation. And then I'm going to provide an instruction, which is generate an image prompt that creates an image using the based upon the information found in the context. You could probably do this a lot. I'm not going to provide it as an instruction for the record. I'm going to provide it as a query. You could probably mess around a lot with this. However, I'm going to test my workflow so far. And as my example URL, let's find an article here. Let's do promoting ChatGPT to our CEO. That would probably be a cool image, I imagine. So let's copy this URL now, and let's just paste in the URL. Now the point being that I want to verify that ChatGPT is capable of actually creating a high quality prompt for DALL-E based upon the content found. And here you can see, create an image of a futuristic office setting where technology and AI are seamlessly integrated into the work environment. The office should be minimalistic and modern with clear indications of AI-driven processes in place. There should be a variety of devices, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so it looks okay. Now, what we want to do, we want to use OpenAI image, and we want to use as our query the answer from our previous OpenAI query. Then we want to use DALL-E 3, style vivid is probably okay, and size 1024 is probably okay. And now what we want to do, we want to filter on return dash, return last action. Then we want to save this guy. Now what I can do, I can actually copy the JSON for the OpenAI Open API specification. And then I can go to ChatGPT, GPS Discovery Editor, right? And I can create a new custom GPT. I'm going to call mine image generator YouTube test, right? Now I want to provide it with an instruction. And I want it to be, if I provide you with a URL, then use my, let's see, create article URL action to generate an image and return the image as markdown to me. Okay, now we want to create a new action. We want to paste in the JSON. We don't need any authentication here, I think. So now we can test it. So let's try promoting ChatGPT to our CEO. Generate an image from, ta-da, and let's see what it comes up with. Hopefully now it's going to be asking me if it's okay to invoke my action. My action is going, my action goes to my magic cloudlet. My magic cloudlet scrapes the blog. Or doesn't this work? Only me. Generate an image from, let's try here. So now it invokes my cloudlet. My cloudlet scrapes the URL I gave it as a prompt. Then it creates an image prompt out of the content from that URL. Then it sends that image prompt to DALL-E version 3, and then it returns back to my custom GPT the URL that DALL-E generated, basically the image. And of course, this is a blog about promoting ChatGPT to our CEO. It's stuffed with AI stuff and everything. It should probably be super futuristic in an office environment because it's like about CEO and professional stuff, etc. It should probably contain like a man in a suit or maybe a robot in a suit or something like that. Now here is the image generated from the URL you provided. Now, the URLs that DALL-E provides are like ridiculously long, unfortunately, so it takes like 30 seconds to simply write out the URL. However, that's not really our fault. That's just the way it is. So let's see what it comes up with. As you can see, it's returning the image as markdown. See the exclamation mark in front of generated image. Let's see what it comes up with. And of course, this image should like encapsulate the gist of the content of this particular URL. Let's see. And here you can see Magic Cloud. Okay, it does the usual spelling errors. Kind of like tries to write custom GPT. I could probably provide instructions to it as I'm invoking DALL-E that tells it to please do not add text to your image, but obviously this is an image encapsulating the primary content of that particular URL. Let's try to find a different URL. Now I'm going to vg.no, which is kind of like a Norwegian news provider. Let's see if we can find something that's like interesting. Okay, here. This is a snowstorm in Norway that kind of like shut down the freeway. Create an image from, let's see what it manages to come up with from this URL. For the record, vg.no is actually shut down. ChatGPT cannot actually scrape that URL, but since it's doing indirectly through our cloudlet, it's actually perfectly capable of actually scraping that URL. So now, of course, this being like a traffic accident happened on the freeway, there were a bunch of snow, blah, blah, blah. The police were there, they shut down everything, blah, blah, blah. Should probably be like an image of like a freeway with a bunch of cars where everybody is like waiting because traffic shut down completely. So let's see what it comes up with. Here's the image generated from the URL you provided. Yet again, DALL-E is generating ridiculously long URLs, unfortunately. That's just the way it is. So hopefully I can keep you busy with small talk until my custom GPT is done writing out this ridiculously long URL. So let's see what it comes up with now. So blue sky. Okay, so far so good. By the way, DALL-E in its AI is returning images ridiculously slow. But as you can see, there's a traffic jam because of snow. One car crashed. The police and the fire department are there, right? They're helping everybody. All traffic has completely shut down. This image perfectly describes that article. Besides from the fact, of course, that it's like generated and it's actually not a photo from Norway, from the highway in Norway. But besides from that, it perfectly encapsulates that URL. So anyways, the way I created this, remember, I just downloaded OpenAI through plugins, and then I used the get context from URL, 4,000 tokens, and then I invoked the query to generate a DALL-E prompt, and then I invoked DALL-E with that DALL-E prompt that was generated from the content of the article. So there's actually like one scraping process occurring here, one OpenAI text transformation event occurring, and then one DALL-E event occurring, and then everything is tied together inside of my own custom GPT, and then it returns the result here. The result at this point, of course, contains the image URL that you can see here now. If you do inspect, and you find the URL for this particular image, you can see it leads to OAI DALL-E API, blah, blah, blah. Wherever, you know, DALL-E is storing its images when you invoke it using the API. So anyways, that was it for today's video. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.